Shortly before midnight on October 19, 2022, a security camera outside the workplace of Phantom 881999's father was recording an empty road. Nothing moved beneath the trees, and the footage appeared completely ordinary, until something began emerging from the far edge of the darkness. Two figures can be seen walking side by side. One appears almost completely human, briefly holding something near its face. But the figure beside it moves differently. It hunches close to the ground, lurching forward with a broken, uneven gait. Its upper body resembles a person, while its lower half repeatedly disappears into the road. Even stranger, the two figures never separate. They keep pace with one another until both pass beyond the camera's view. Some viewers believe this was a person using a phone or smoking a cigarette while walking beside a dog. Others see a second person leaning over crutches or a walking aid. Poor night vision and heavy video compression may have erased the darker parts of their bodies, leaving only their faces, hands, and reflective objects visible. But because only a phone recording of the CCTV monitor was provided, the missing details cannot be recovered. So, did the camera distort two ordinary people walking through the night? Or did something far stranger pass the workplace just before midnight? In October 2024, a woman named Individual Insect 722 had recently moved into an isolated home surrounded by forest. The house stood behind a fence on a steep hill with no nearby neighbors. Since arriving, she had been hearing unfamiliar sounds from the woods and waking repeatedly throughout the night. With her Ring subscription temporarily inactive, she left the live camera view screen recording while she slept. Beyond the porch railing, at the edge of the surrounding woods, a pale human-shaped figure can be seen walking across the property. Its appearance resembles a woman wearing a long dress or nightgown. Despite the uneven hillside, she moves with slow but deliberate steps, never turning toward the house. The homeowner claimed the property was extremely difficult to reach. She also owned a large German Shepherd that would normally react to anyone walking behind the house. Some viewers believe this was an ordinary person whose clothing appeared white beneath the infrared camera. The figure's natural walking motion and solid outlines support that possibility. Others questioned why the recording showed "End Live." The woman later clarified that this was a continuous screen recording of the live camera view, not an automatic ring alert. So, was this simply a stranger wandering across an isolated property, or something pale moving through the woods when no one should have been there? On May 22, 2024, A mother shared a deeply unsettling security recording captured inside her family's living room. The home appears modern, brightly lit, and completely ordinary as she prepares food at the kitchen counter. Just yards behind her, her toddler plays quietly inside a large playpen in the center of the room. For several moments, the scene remains completely peaceful, as the mother continues working with her back turned, until something behind her begins to change.
Ready to go to Grandma's? Careful, baby. Don't go. James! James! Ellie! Come here! James!
Directly behind the mother, the entire playpen slowly slides and pivots across the smooth floor, with her toddler still sitting inside. She remains at the kitchen counter, completely oblivious as the enclosure travels several feet on its own. The moment she turns around, panic takes over. She races across the room, pulls her child from the playpen, and immediately flees. A shifting child or the smooth flooring could potentially cause subtle movement, but the playpen appears to rotate in a controlled pattern, as though something unseen were deliberately repositioning it. 3 weeks later, the same camera recorded another impossible disturbance involving something far heavier. Only this time, the mother was asleep on the sofa. A massive television and its wheeled stand slowly pivot away from the wall before rolling directly toward the security camera. Throughout the entire incident, the woman remains fast asleep on the sofa, with no intruder entering the frame. Unlocked caster wheels and an uneven floor offer a possible explanation, yet the stand does more than simply roll. It first appears to rotate before advancing across the room. Just 5 days later, the woman was filming inside her bathroom when the activity took a far more threatening turn. After noticing a bright green garment lying on the floor, she walks over to retrieve it, unaware that reaching down would place her directly in danger. While Nikki is crouched over the wet floor, the shower suddenly blasts on again. She springs to her feet and runs from the bathroom in terror, leaving the water pouring behind her. But within a single month, this family documented 3 increasingly aggressive disturbances. First, the playpen moved across the room, with a toddler still inside. Then, a heavy television rolled toward the camera while the mother slept. And finally, something appeared to physically drag her to the floor. Was this family being tormented by an increasingly violent poltergeist? Or were these incidents part of an elaborate series of staged viral encounters? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. In 2021, a man named Edgardo shared a short recording he claimed had come from his neighbors. It showed their young daughter playing on a slide after dark. At first, nothing seemed unusual.
Hey, vente.
As the girl begins to descend, a pale face rises from behind her right shoulder. It appears to stare directly toward the camera, then retreats into the darkness as she reaches the bottom. According to the family, no other child had been waiting behind her.
Hey, vente.
But once the darkness is lifted, the face appears to be connected to a body. A head, torso, and hand can briefly be seen moving behind the slide, while a separate shadow shifts across the ground. That makes another person the strongest explanation. But since the recording ends before they emerge, what do you think? Was someone simply waiting in the darkness? Or was the family right about the face behind their daughter? In 2024, a woman living inside an old southern farmhouse noticed a deer standing in her front yard. The home had previously belonged to an elderly man who reportedly died inside. After moving there, the woman and her husband began hearing what sounded like someone walking through the attic. That night, she raised her phone toward the window and captured a live photo of the deer. But the animal was not the only thing recorded. As the camera shifts, a pale face suddenly emerges from the darkness. Moments later, another face appears directly behind it. Together, the figures resemble a man holding a child, or 2 people looking over one another's shoulders. The woman reportedly noticed them on her screen and immediately recoiled. But the figures may not have been standing outside with the deer. Their position suggests something far more unsettling. The faces move against the glass as the phone changes position, strongly suggesting a reflection from somewhere inside the room. Viewers suspected a television, a pet, or someone illuminated by another screen. But Kipper 2 claims there were no children, pets, televisions, or pictures behind the woman, and her husband was in another room. So, did the window briefly reflect an ordinary object inside the farmhouse? Or was someone standing behind her when she believed she was completely alone? On the evening of November 26, 2023, a man stepped outside to take out the trash at his rural home. His wife, Elizabeth, says the yard was empty, and her skeptical husband felt nothing unusual while standing outside. But when their motion-activated security camera sent an alert to his phone, the 6-second recording revealed that he may not have been alone. Several feet behind the man, a faded bluish form can be seen moving through the darkness. For a brief moment, it resembles a hunched human figure, with a head, shoulders, and 2 separate legs stepping across the yard. Yet the man never turns around. As he continues handling the trash, the figure stretches thin and slowly disappears. Elizabeth says nobody else was outside, and there were no animals living on the property that could explain it. Elizabeth says an elderly man once lived at the home before passing away, while a woman had reportedly been murdered across the road. Some viewers believe the figure is merely smoke or digital distortion from the cheap camera. But after seeing it, her skeptical husband refused to take out the trash after dark again. So did the camera create something from the darkness? Or did an unseen presence follow him across the yard? Hidden deep within the rural countryside of Burrellville, Rhode Island, stands the historic 18th century farmhouse that inspired the horrifying events depicted in The Conjuring. For decades, residents and visitors have reported aggressive paranormal phenomena: phantom footsteps, disembodied whispers, and heavy doors moving without human touch. During a 72-hour Halloween livestream in October 2021, multiple security cameras monitored the rooms around the clock. On the afternoon of October 30th, a caretaker entered the library to organize a shelf. Two separate cameras recorded the doorway from opposing angles, confirming that the adjoining room was silent and completely empty. But when the caretaker turned her back, something behind her began to move.
So I'm going to read off some questions that you guys may have. And I'll set up. Oh, actually, we don't need to use this right now. Use these here. You guys stay here. Alright, so I guess we can try the spirit box. Oh. The door just opened! On its own!
Directly behind the caretaker, the heavy wooden door slowly swings wide open, as if pulled by an invisible hand. A secondary camera positioned inside the adjoining room confirms that no one was standing on the other side of the doorway. The caretaker never touches the handle and remains completely oblivious to the movement behind her. Skeptics point to drafts, gravity, or uneven flooring inside the aging farmhouse, but the entire incident was captured from two opposing angles during a live broadcast. Months later, while reviewing night vision footage recorded inside the house's infamous stone basement, the caretaker noticed another disturbing anomaly. Something was hiding beside an open doorway, something she had completely missed at the time.
So guys, I may have gotten something crazy on camera. Let me explain. Recently I was reviewing over some footage because I have a bunch of saved footage from the Conjuring House on my phone, as I make a lot of TikTok videos and I needed just a simple video from the basement. So I found this footage that I filmed back on March 21st, and it's a 6-second video, but something really caught my attention in the video. So this is the video. Here I am walking in the hallway of the basement, and as you can see, it's a very short video. But while I was watching that video, I thought I saw something in the right-hand corner move, so I decided to crop the video and slow the frames down, and you will not believe what I saw. So here's a cropped version of the video, but in the last 2 seconds, it appears like something peeks out behind the pole here. And if you slow the frames down, you can see what looks like a face. I see eyes, the nose, and hairline, and it freaked me out so bad because it's in the last few seconds of the frame. So for those of you that may have not seen it in the video, this photo was a direct screenshot from the video. Look at this. It looks like a face. I see the nose, the mouth, the eyes, and a hairline. I sent it to my friends immediately, and they were all like, oh my gosh, I can totally see a face there too. And I think it looks like a child. It appears like it pokes out behind the pole here and then ducks down as soon as I'm making my way towards that area of the basement. Does anyone else see it? Let me know in the comments section, because seriously, it freaks me out so bad looking at it.
Lurking within the shadows beside the wooden doorframe is a pale, distorted shape. Two dark voids resemble hollow eyes, surrounding what appears to be a forehead and nose peering from the blackness. Low light, video compression, and pareidolia could have transformed an ordinary piece of basement clutter into the appearance of a face. Yet the eerie figure left the caretaker shaken to her core. Not long afterward, she was filming near the central staircase, leaving a small side door standing wide open. She turned her back and walked down the hallway, unaware that the silence behind her was about to be violently broken.
So guys, yesterday this door slammed shut during my live stream. Let me show you the footage from it.
I'll show you guys it. Oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. So the boarding room, so that will be for a smiley face, or downstairs we can do either the library or seance room, and then we'll do the basement maybe in a bit. I just don't want to start immediately in the basement. So boarding room, smiley face. In order to vote, you gotta comment it, I think. or crying face for a different room downstairs. Let me know. Actually, I'll leave this open for now, just in case we end up going in. Grab my stuff while you guys are voting. Just not the basement right now, because I don't feel like going down there. Oh, why did that door just... Did that door... Wait, what the... I didn't shut that door. There's no way the wind caused that. I had it wide open. It won't open now. Okay. I left it like that, and it literally closed on its own. What the heck? You guys heard that too, though, right?
The door was standing completely open when the caretaker walked away. Moments later, a thunderous slam tears through the house, and when she rushes back, the door is sealed shut. Draft was responsible. She pulls the door open and walks away again. This time, the door never moves. Individually, each incident could be explained by air pressure, low light distortion, or natural movement inside an aging structure. But together, they form an unsettling pattern inside one of America's most infamous haunted houses. A heavy door opening during a live, multi-camera broadcast, a pale, face-like figure watching from the cellar, and an aggressive physical slam occurring only after the caretaker turns her back. Were these simply the settling groans and optical illusions of a centuries-old farmhouse? Or is something inside the Conjuring House deliberately playing games with the living? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. On September 26, 2021, a Xiaomi security camera was monitoring a family's holiday home in Portugal. The property remained empty for most of the year, but that night, the infrared camera recorded movement inside the darkened game room. Triske's girlfriend kept the recording for several years, convinced that something unexpected had entered the house. From the right side of the room, a translucent, child-sized shape appears beside the foosball table. As it moves, the misty form briefly resembles a small head and body turning toward the camera. Some viewers even believed a second, taller figure was guiding the smaller one through the room. Triske's girlfriend became convinced that the camera had recorded the ghost of a child. Most viewers believe the figure is a cobweb, dust, or a small insect drifting close to the infrared lens. Being heavily out of focus would make something tiny appear large, translucent, and almost human. Triske agreed that a web was the most likely explanation. The same camera remains inside the house, and nothing similar has ever appeared again. So, did the camera transform a strand of web into a ghostly illusion? Or did something childlike briefly wander through the empty holiday home? Just after midnight on August 10, 2024, a motion-activated camera switched on inside a quiet country home. The two women living there claimed they were both asleep, yet the camera had detected movement, and something appeared to have entered their dining room. The recording appears to show a transparent, human-sized figure moving between the furniture. For a brief moment, what resembles a head, shoulders, and a swinging arm can be seen passing through the room. The figure even appears to obscure one of the lights behind it. But what disturbed the women most was the suggestion of a face. They believed they could make out what looked like glasses, and the roommate's late mother had worn glasses before she died. The roommate's mother had passed away only a few months earlier. According to Appalachian Queen, she had spent considerable time inside this home, especially during the final months of her life. The moving object beside the railing is only an oscillating fan. Some viewers believe that fan, combined with infrared motion blur or video compression, created the ghostly shape. However, the women say the fan runs constantly and nothing like this had appeared before or since. So, did the camera distort an ordinary movement in the darkness, or did it capture a familiar visitor returning to the house one last time? One night in 2023, the dogs inside a family home suddenly began reacting, as though someone were walking outside. When the homeowner checked the Ring camera, the street appeared deserted. But only a block away, a motorcyclist had reportedly lost their life, and something had crossed the camera's view. Against the fence across the street, a faint, human-shaped figure can be seen moving through the darkness. Its body remains visible for several steps before seemingly breaking apart and disappearing. Near the end of the recording, part of the same figure appears again farther along the street. According to JK Smiley Face 1, a fatal motorcycle crash had occurred nearby shortly before this was captured. Believing the two events might be connected, the homeowner wondered if the shadow was the accident victim, still traveling through the neighborhood. Several viewers believe this was an ordinary pedestrian distorted by the Ring camera's poor night vision. The figure appears to cast a shadow, while low light compression could explain why its body repeatedly blends into the background. But the family says their dogs reacted before they checked the camera, and the fatal crash had happened only a block away. So, was this simply someone disappearing into poor video quality, or did the camera capture a traveler taking one final walk? In 2020, a man named Notorious Mizaros began hearing unexplained noises coming from his garage. While his fiancée was at work, he opened Snapchat and walked inside to show her what was happening. She believed the noises were being caused by a ghost, but he remained unconvinced. Then, while filming the empty garage, he said so out loud.
See ghosts. I'm not sure if I even believe anymore, but... Yo, okay. No. What the fuck?
Resting on the workbench is a large red sleeping bag. At first, it appears completely motionless. But just as the man begins saying that he is not sure ghosts are real, the bag slowly twists forward and falls. A wrench positioned in front of it drops first, creating the metallic crash heard in the recording.
But...
Moments later, the man's small dog walks through the lower part of the garage. However, he claims the animal had been waiting beside the back door when the bag moved, and only entered afterward.
I'm not sure if I even believe anymore, but... Yo, okay. No.
Notorious Mizaros says the garage was sealed, the screened window could not open, and he found no signs of rodents or anything hiding behind the sleeping bag. Some viewers believe the rounded bag simply lost its balance. Others suspected an animal or a thin line outside the camera's view. But did an unstable object finally slip from the workbench? Or did something inside the garage answer when the man said he did not believe?